Hello and welcome to TVB News. I'm Melissa Hekalea. The police's National Security Department arrested fugitive Quac Fungs' father on suspicion of dealing with funds belonging to an absconder. It's the first such arrest made under the charge. Sources say he was suspected of assisting Quac with changing the details of her insurance policy and extracting funds from her insurance policy. Quac's brother, who works for an insurance company, was also arrested as part of the investigation. Timothy Lee tells us more.
National Security Police arrested fugitive Quac Fungs' father and brother in Chengquano on Wednesday. Her 35-year-old brother was granted bail and left the Kuntan police station during the afternoon. 28-year-old Quac Fungs, who fled the city in January 2020, is a member of the Hong Kong Democracy Council, having requested foreign governments to sanction mainland and Hong Kong officials. The police have offered a $1 million reward to residents who can provide information about Quac, who is wanted on suspicion of colluding with foreign or external elements to endanger national security. Quac's 68-year-old father has now been charged with one count of dealing with funds belonging to an absconder. He appeared in court this afternoon at the West Kowloon Magistrates Courts. The senior Quac was charged with attempting to alter the contents of an insurance form belonging to his daughter. The prosecution suggested the case be postponed by 6 weeks so they can retrieve the defendant's mobile phone and computer. Chief Magistrate Victor So then decided to postpone the hearing to the 13th of June. Quac's father remains remanded in custody. Reports say the police found Quac Fungs' father traveled overseas to meet his daughter earlier. At the start of this year, Quac's father reportedly provided an insurance company with documents allegedly signed by Quac Fungs and himself, attempting to withdraw the $100,000 from the balance of his daughter's insurance policy. Quac's brother worked for the same company. Authorities have not excluded the possibility of certain individuals using their positions to assist with the handling of funds belonging to Quac. The police's National Security Department earlier investigated Quac's family members, including her parents and brother, in August 2023. Having searched their residences and forms of communication with Quac, the police stressed individuals who deal with funds belonging to an absconder could be sentenced to a maximum of 7 years imprisonment. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Hong Kong recorded GDP growth of 3.1% year-on-year for the first quarter of 2025, beating expectations. However, the city's retail sales in March fell by 3.5% year-on-year, marking a 13th consecutive month of decline. Timothy Lee reports.
Many people were surprised as the city's economic performance exceeded the market's earlier estimate of 2% GDP growth for Q1. The Census and Statistics Department reported Hong Kong's Q1 GDP growth rose by 3.1% year-on-year, which is 0.6 percentage points higher than that of the fourth quarter last year. The figure set a new record for the past 5 quarters, with the accelerated growth primarily owing to the increased export of goods. However, private consumption's decline widened. Meanwhile, government expenditure measured in national accounts terms recorded an increase of 1.2%. An economist said the positive economic figures reflect the desire of many businesses to export their products to the U.S. by March. Regarding GDP figures for the next few quarters, the city would depend on the support of the financial and tourism sectors. CUHK economics professor Terence Chang said in spite of the tariff war, tourists could come to shop in Hong Kong owing to its status as a free port. Meanwhile, the city's retail sector continues to struggle as retail sales by value for March amounted to $30.1 billion, which is a drop of 3.5% compared with the same period last year. Durable goods recorded the largest decline of close to 18%. Vehicles and vehicular parts decreased by 46%, and furniture declined by 17%. But supermarkets recorded an increase of 5.2%. with food products, alcohol, and tobacco rising by 7.8%. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Rosanna Law said more than 265,000 people have flocked to the city, marking a 27% increase year-on-year. This as the 5-day Golden Week holiday started on the mainland yesterday. Rosanna Law said among the inbound visitors, 222,000 were mainlanders, while 45,000 were tourists from overseas. The city also welcomed 260 tour groups since Thursday, with 3/4 of them staying overnight. Speaking about travelers who were not in tour groups and returned the same day, Law said many changed their shopping patterns, which is a worldwide phenomenon. She said the commercial sector should step up efforts to attract more tourists. The number of local residents testing positive for COVID recently reached its highest in the past 6 months. The Center for Health Protection expects the virus will become more prevalent in the city over the next few weeks. Between April 20th and 26th, 895 COVID samples sent out of 8,900 collected tested positive, which is more than 10% of them. There were 10 cases of outbreaks in schools and hostels involving 47 people. In Britain, Brexit campaigner Nigel Farages' right-wing Reform Party won a 5th parliamentary seat. Farage expressed hope this marks the start of the breakdown of a century of domination of British politics by the governing Labour Party and opposition Conservatives.
Very clear message tonight. In much of this country, if you vote Conservative, you will get Labour. And what tonight does is it embeds us. We now are the opposition party in the United Kingdom to the Labour Party, and the Tories, frankly, are a waste of space.
A victory in Runcorn in northwest England gave Reform 5 of the 650 seats in the House of Commons. Reform got about 14% of the vote in last year's national election. National polls now suggest its support equals or surpasses that of Labour and the Conservatives. Reform is aiming to displace the Conservatives as the UK's main party on the right before the country's next general election due by 2029. Reform UK is the latest in a series of parties led by Nigel Farage, a veteran politician who was crucial in taking Britain out of the European Union through a 2016 referendum. A charismatic campaigner, he's a divisive figure who has said many migrants come to the UK from cultures alien to ours. Welcome back. The Inland Revenue Department has issued some 2.66 million tax returns for individuals for the year of assessment 2024-25. The filing deadline is 1 month for general cases and 3 months for sole proprietors. Those who file their forms electronically will be allowed an extra month. Samantha Lee reports.
The tax filing season has kicked off. Taxpayers may have to look out for tax returns in green envelopes, also known as the green bombs, in the next few days. This year, the Inland Revenue Department sent out tax returns to some 2.6 million individuals, compared to 2.4 million last year. Taxpayers who receive their tax returns have to fill in and submit them on or before June 2nd. For sole proprietors, the submission deadline is August 2nd. Those who file the forms online will be allowed an extra month. The two-tiered standard rates regime has also been implemented. On the first 5 million of net income, tax charge will continue to be 15%, while the remainder will be a 16% charge. The Inland Revenue Department said the total tax revenue for the financial year 2024-25 is $374.5 billion, marking a 10% increase year-on-year. The authorities forecast $401.4 billion of tax revenue for the financial year 2025-26, up by 7% year-on-year, citing the increase of taxpayers and taxable income.
The reasons why the salaries tax revenues has increased, I think I've just mentioned 3 factors. The first one is about the general increase in the salary level of taxpayers. We observed that. And another major reason is the increase in the numbers of the taxpayers, which also contributes to the increase in the revenue. And the third reason is the decrease in the number of taxpayers requesting the holdover of the provisional salaries tax for the year of assessment 2024-25.
The authorities also encourage taxpayers to file their tax returns through e-tax. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
Hong Kong will hold the next Legislative Council election on December 7th. The Electoral Affairs Commission suggested incorporating the Lok Ma Chau Loop into the geographical constituency of the new Territories North. The Electoral Affairs Commission said there are ongoing development and construction works in the Lok Ma Chau Loop. Although the current population projection as of mid-2025 for the loop by the Planning Department is 0, the Commission proposed including it in the new Territories North geographical constituency to tie in with the loop's development. There is a 1-month public consultation period. A healthcare group appears to have closed its business today, leading some clients to express concern about medical packages they've already paid for. At least 7 people have filed police reports about vaccination programs. The healthcare group suddenly deleted its social media page, and its branches were closed today. The Department of Health noted the group is not a licensed premises under the Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance. The group, called Alliance Medical Group, provided infant vaccinations and health checkup services with 2 centers in Sha Tin and Tsim Sha Tsui. Some parents visited to inquire about the situation, but both centers were closed. They paid for infant vaccination programs. Kiev and Washington hailed the deal that gives the United States preferential access to Ukrainian minerals as a milestone that would strengthen President Donald Trump's negotiating position with Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the deal as a truly equal agreement. Tracy Furness has more.
As the war between Ukraine and Russia is showing signs of winding down, another battle is quietly unfolding beneath Ukrainian soil, with competitors eyeing Ukraine's vast reserves of critical minerals. The United States and Ukraine have signed an agreement to establish the U.S.-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund, giving the U.S. preferential access to the minerals.
It said that the U.S. is very interested in a very, very wide list of critical raw materials, as we say. It's minerals is very important for industry 4.0, for new era of energy use and, of course, new era of military technologies. It's not only, let's talk not only about rare earth materials, which
But more than half of the rare earth minerals are located in territories currently occupied by Russia.
More than 60% of Ukrainian mineral resource rare earth materials are now occupied because they are located in Priazovia region, close to Mariupol, close to Azov Sea. It's a big problem. But when we talk about biggest titanium, beryllium, or lithium deposit, they are now under Ukrainian control.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky seemed pleased with the new deal, saying it was far more beneficial to Ukraine than previous versions, which had reduced Kyiv to a junior partner and gave Washington unprecedented rights to his country's resources. The U.S. State Department said the minerals deal cements their country's partnership with Ukraine, creating stronger national security.
What I think Ukraine understands and what we intend is that this is not just a financial arrangement. This is a bonding between 2 countries that will make a difference for a nation, certainly in Ukraine's situation where they have a friend and the rest of the world will notice that when you have a friend like the United States and when we are in business with you and in your nation, it creates a stronger national security for everyone involved.
Tracy Furness, TVB News.
In Beijing, several parks have set out themed flower viewing zones and rolled out a nighttime experience. The aim is to offer residents and tourists a round-the-clock floral experience. Jackie Lin with more.
Springtime marks the prime season to relish the blooms and blossoms in Beijing. At At Zhongshan Park, located in the heart of Beijing, the stunning sea of tulips is reminiscent of the floral charm of the Netherlands, showcasing fiery reds, pristine whites, and radiant yellows. Despite the recent unstable weather, floral enthusiasts remain undeterred.
很有意境。
This local resident said she wanted to visit on a sunny day, but the drizzle made the landscape dreamy. The park features both indoor and outdoor spaces, displaying nearly 100 varieties of tulips and other bulb flowers. Among them, 20 new varieties of tulips are making their debut this year at the park. They include this red parrot tulip with striking red and yellow feather-like petals. Yuan Park, renowned for its cherry blossoms, has also introduced a nighttime viewing experience with its bridges illuminating and steps warmly lit.
也是从别的地方看到就是闪光灯。
This resident says she can come visit after work.
我觉得光线可能是个问题吧。
This woman said it's clearer to view the blooms during the day, but if the nighttime events are executed well, the ambience could be even more romantic. The park has set up multiple photo-taking spots, but the nighttime lighting will be suspended under extreme weather conditions. Jacqueline, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.